Hey, what is up, guys? You're watching Up Your Pokemon TCG. In today's video, guys, what I have for you, we're going to be taking a look at a Firebox deck. Now, if this list does look very familiar, it's because this list actually just got done and performing pretty well at the Oceania Internationals. And I figured that even though I'm only missing one card from this deck, I would go ahead and cover it anyway, because let's face it, if you guys play Pokemon TCG online, you know that Dedenne can be a pain to get sometimes. Anywho, moving on. So yeah, I figure I'll go ahead and cover it. Why not? And at the time of recording this, I'm only one subscriber away from 1,000, which is pretty exciting. So anywho, I don't really know exactly what to start here first with, so we're gonna start with Welder. We're gonna change it up a little bit instead of taking a look at a Pokemon first. So Welder, of course, you can attach up to 2 Fire Energy cards from your hand to one of your Pokemon, and if you do, you draw 3 cards. So not only is this gonna give you some energy acceleration, but this is also gonna serve as a Tierno slash Sharon slash How slash Hop. Is that all of them? I might be missing one. Anywho, so it's just gonna allow you to get 3 additional cards, which is pretty nice. And now I figure we can just kind of go down the list. Why not? As far as these Pokemon go. So the first one we're going to take a look at is going to be Mega Lopunny and Jigglypuff. It has Jumping Balloon. It does 60. And then 60 more for each of your opponent's GX and EX in play, which is really nice. This card could actually be a pretty big heavy hitter. And its second attack, the GX attack, actually is not too shabby either. It is Puffy Smashers GX, which is the most intimidating name I've ever heard in my life. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep if this Pokemon has at least 4 extra energy attached to it in addition to this attack's cost. This attack does 200 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So that means you put your opponent's active to sleep and then you do 200 to something. That's actually not too bad if you're just able to pick something off or you just have something heavily damaged there, which is really nice. And next up, we have Turtonator. So Turtonator is a card I have some mad love for. This one prize attacker is actually pretty solid, and I've liked it pretty much ever since I saw it. So it has Explosive Jet for 50. Discard any number of fire energy from your Pokemon, and this attack does 50 damage for each, or yeah, for each card you discarded this way. So if you just have a bunch of fire energy sitting out on the field, you can slap this bad boy down, and he gets set up really easily just with a welder and a manual attachment. And then you can honestly dish out some pretty decent damage, and you're only giving up one prize when it's knocked out. So that's actually really, really good. And the next card we're going to take a look at is going to be Heatran GX. So Heatran GX actually can be a massive heavy hitter, especially if you have a bunch of energy out on the field. Also, it can be a card that you can get set up pretty quickly, just as every other card in this deck with Welder. But if you don't have a Welder, this card can still set up if you just have some energy on the field. So Burning Road, once during your turn, when this Pokemon moves from your bench to your active spot, you may move any number of fire energy from your other Pokemon to this one. So yeah, Burning Road is just a really, really nice ability. And then Steaming Stomp does 130. It's not the most, but it's still actually pretty decent. And then Hot Burn GX can actually be massive. So this attack does 50 damage times the amount of fire energy attached to this Pokemon. Excuse me. So yeah, Hot Burn GX. If you have 4 energy on there, that's gonna be 200, and the damage just keep growing. So if like this is like mid to late game, and you have like a good amount of energy out on the field, or if you've just been getting your Victini V on, you could just do some good damage with Heatran. It's a pretty cool card. All right, the next card we're going to take a look at is going to be Reshiram and Charizard GX. It has 3 attacks. This is a pretty generic fire Pokemon at this point. I mean, it's just like it does a lot of damage. It's just really good. So it's honestly too good not to have in here. So Outrage is going to do 30, and then it does 10 more for each damage counter on this Pokemon. And then Flare Strike does 230, and of course you can't use Flare Strike during your next turn. And then Double Blaze GX 200, and if you have 3 additional energy attached to this Pokemon, fire specifically, in addition to this attack's cost, it's going to do an additional 100 damage. Now, before the release of Sword and Shield, this would pretty much, smack some cheeks around, but now sometimes some Pokemon might live through this, which is pretty unfortunate. But still, Reshiram Charizard, very, very solid attacker. And we actually have a couple Victini in this deck. The first one we're going to take a look at is going to be Victini Prism Star. So it has the attack Infinity. Now this card actually serves as a recovery card slash if you have enough fire energy in the discard pile, it can do a good amount of damage. But Infinity, it does 20 for each basic energy card in your discard pile. Then you shuffle those cards back into your deck. So that means you're just going to get all your fire energy back to kind of work with some more. And then overall, Victini could dish out some damage. It could not. Who knows? But still, you get some fire energy back. And you're only giving up one prize when this is knocked out. So it's not too bad. And now we're going to take a look at Victini V. So Victini V is actually a pretty cool card. And of course, I got to just point it out, guys. The black border. God, the black border on the V cards looks so good. I love the black borders. They look great, I think. So Victini V, Spreading Flames, very, very similar to Volcanion, the one we have seen in the Reshizar as far as like some energy acceleration. Except Victini is going to get you 3 from the discard pile, which is really nice. Attach with the 3 fire energy cards from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way you like. That's just honestly very solid. It just gives you a chance to just kind of get some energy out on the field, kind of work with some stuff. And it has 190 HP, so it could potentially take a hit depending on your matchup, but still overall, Victini is just going to get you some energy, which is really nice. And it has energy burst for 30 times the amount of energy attached to both active Pokemon, so it's not too bad of an attack. And then we have, of course, we have a 2-2 Ninetales. We have the Vulpix here, and then we have the Ninetales. Essentially, what this is going to do is you just attach, or you just discard 2 fire energy, and you just get to pull up a Pokemon. So that means you just kind of get to pull stuff off the bench and finish them off, or just knock them out if you're able to knock them out right there. So that's why Ninetales is, just going to be in here to serve that purpose. Now, I do apologize again, guys, for not having 3 Dedenne on my account, but I figured I would just go ahead and cover this deck anyway. So yes, I do apologize. But Dedenne is going to be in here to kind of keep your turn going, or it can get you out of a bad bind. Quick Ball's in this deck, and Pokemon Communications in this deck, so that means that can turn into a Dedenne. Quick Ball is pretty sweet too, because you just discard 1 card and boom, fresh hand of 6. But Dedenne change, when you place Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may discard your hand and draw 6 cards. So good of an effect, and just overall will be very helpful for you. And now the next card is actually going to help you out. Dedenne and Jirachi are just going to be in here to kind of, just fish for some resources. Keep that fire going. See what I did there? Anyway, so Stellar Wish, you just look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal a trainer card you find there, and then of course Jirachi goes to sleep. But we have Skateboard, so it's okay. And we have switches in here too, so we don't have to worry about that too much. But basically, this is just going to allow you to kind of grab your Welder, grab your Fiery Flint, your Stadiums, whatever. Whatever cards you might need, Jirachi is going to help you grab those out of your deck. And so that is going to do it for the Pokemon. Now we're going to move on. Take a look at this card right here. Welder. This card is huge for this deck. Okay, it's just going to help you power all these Pokemon up and get them going. And how we're going to get energy in our hand, just kind of get those, is going to be cards like Fiery Flint. You discard 2 cards from your hand. You can search your deck for up to 4 fire energy cards. Add those, which is really, really nice. And on top of that, to help out our boy Welder, we have Giant Earth. So pretty much you just pitch a card from your hand, search your deck for 2 fire energy cards, and then there you go, guys. There's your 2 targets for Welder. And then to keep our Welders going, we have Pal Pad. You just shuffle 2 supporter cards from your discard pile into your deck. So essentially in a match, you could have 6 Welder. Like, that's actually pretty nice. It's pretty hot. See what I did there? All right, so next up we have Heat Factory. This is just going to allow you to actually grab some more cards out of your deck. You just discard a fire energy card and draw 3. And if you do this, you actually have a target for Victini, which is pretty cool. And we also have the Pokemon searching cards here. We have Pokemon Communication, reveal Pokemon from your hand, and then of course you put it back in your deck, search deck for Pokemon. Pretty good there. That can grab everything in this deck, and then of course Quick Ball can grab everything in the deck except for Ninetales. You just discard a card, search for a basic Pokemon. Like I said, guys, you can grab a Dedenne if you really need to. And then we have Force Switch in here just to kind of have the flexibility. Of course, Jirachi, we don't want that stuck up in the active spot. If you don't want to pay retreat costs, that way, of course, you can Turtonator later or you can Heatran later. That's really good as well. And of course, it actually has beautiful synergy with Heatran because, of course, the ability reads when this Pokemon moves from your bench to become your active, so you can switch it to a Heatran and move some energy. And then, of course, we have a skateboard. Like I said, that's mostly going to be in here for Jirachi, but you can throw it onto your Dedenne if you really want to. But more or less, it's going to be for Jirachi. And with the release of Sword and Shield, we got Lucky Egg. So Lucky Egg's actually very helpful for fire decks. There's actually a Bucephalon list that I have. I'll be covering that very soon. That runs Lucky Egg as well. But if the Pokemon this card is attached to is knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack, draw cards until you have 7 cards in your hand. So this partnered alongside Dedenne, partnered alongside Jirachi, you're going to be getting some cards to your hand, which is really nice because when a Pokemon does go down, you really want to try your best to get some energy in a Welder just to kind of keep your turn going, get that board built back up, get those resources out, and yeah, Lucky Egg's going to help you out there, which is really, really nice. And then I think that's honestly everything besides the energy. So there we go. We have 18 fire energy. This deck's actually pretty cool. It's kind of everywhere, but the strategy is basically you have Welder, you have Fire Pokemon, you have stuff that you can attack with Welder, and he's gonna go from there. Like, for example, like Pokemon that are super heavy on having just a bunch of GXs out. Lopunny and Jigglypuff's really good. Turtonator is going to be that one prize attacker that can just dish out a lot of damage. Victini V is going to be a way for you to just spam the board with energy. Victini Prism Star is going to allow you to get your energies back into the deck. Reshiram Charizard just dishes out a massive amount of damage. Heatran can be a card that you can get set up at any point in the game. And then, of course, we have Ninetales, which can bring up stuff off the bench. So that way you can either pick them off or finish them off. It's really nice there. And we have ways to get energy to our hand, recycle those welders, and this deck proved that it can actually function because, of course, it did very, very, very well at Oceania. So yeah, that's all for me, guys. I wanted to cover this deck. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not subscribed. And I'm pretty sure you guys can go back to the Twitch channel and go take a look and just see this deck in action. I cannot remember for the life of me who piloted this deck. Wow, that's awkward. If I remember it, or I'm gonna try to find it, I'll make sure to or I'll put it in the comment section below for you guys so you can go check that out. Or if you guys know his name, comment that below. You'd be amazing for that. But anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy it. I'll have another deck profile or a just video for you guys. Actually, I have another video I'm planning on doing, so it'll be a deck profile or it'll be like a random Pokemon video. But that'll be up here in a couple days. So thank you guys all so much for watching. Take care. I love you so much. And this is Epic Pokemon TCG signing out. Take care, guys.
Don't forget to like, follow, and obey.